guys, welcome to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss any of my future content. From now on, I'll be posting my more crucial and in-depth videos here on YouTube versus my other platforms. Before we start, I want to give the disclaimer that I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving medical advice. I'm giving anecdotal evidence of what has helped me personally recover and reach remission for several different diseases that I have. In today's video, we're going to be making several different breakfast options that are PCOS and Hashimoto's friendly. Before we get started, I want to go over a few important concepts with you guys. The first is the importance of incorporating fiber and healthy fats into our everyday diets. Typically, we see a fixation on protein and how high protein helps keep us full, but the truth is, protein alone isn't enough. Fiber and healthy fats help to keep our insulin levels from jumping up and down, which in turn helps us stay full longer and feel satisfied after eating. Upping fiber and healthy fat intake is what makes it possible to have smaller portions of things like granola in my viral TikTok yogurt parfait video, because when I pack the fruit on top, the fiber in the fruit and the healthy fat in the yogurt is what helps keep me full. The next concept I want to explain is the importance of going gluten-free with Hashimoto's and PCOS. With Hashimoto's, eating gluten causes the body to attack the thyroid, which in turn causes permanent damage to it over time. Even though cutting out gluten will not cure or put Hashimoto's in remission, it's essentially like pouring gasoline on a fire every time you eat gluten with Hashimoto's. With PCOS, it's a good idea not to have gluten because gluten is inflammatory, and inflammation leads to further weight gain. And a little known fact is that about 50% of women with PCOS have Hashimoto's too. Sadly, many go undiagnosed because it requires more than just a TSH test to get diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and most doctors only check for TSH. So if it's possible to do gluten-free, do it. And even if you can only be gluten-free about 90% of the time, that's okay. That's better than none at all. For me, because I also have celiac disease, I have to be 100% gluten-free. So my recipes will be gluten-free by default, all the time. My last point before we dive into our cooking is that you should not be afraid of carbs. Just try to be mindful about what kind of carbs you're having and how much you're having. When I say carbs, I'm talking about mainly breads, pastas, flours, the processed crap. Carbs present in fruits and veggies are free game. For instance, brown rice is a better alternative to white rice. Quinoa, oats, potatoes are good carbs, while processed bleached flour is going to be an unhealthy option. The way to be mindful about carbs is to think about it like this. If you have my yogurt bowl for breakfast, which has some granola on top, which is made out of oats, then at lunch you might consider having chicken, rice, and veggies, while at dinner you could have quinoa noodle spaghetti with meat sauce and a salad. If you have any questions about any of these points, please comment below so I can answer your questions. Now let's move on to the actual breakfast recipes. First, let's make overnight oats/chia seed bowls. We're gonna need a half cup of rolled oats, a half cup of milk of choice, a fourth cup of low-fat Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And for toppings, we're going to use chocolate chips, agave nectar or honey, unsweetened coconut flakes, 1 kiwi, 5 blackberries, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Okay, so to start, we're going to get our rolled oats. I'm using gluten-free rolled oats. Little known fact, oats are not gluten-free, so if you're going to try and be gluten-free, you'll need to get gluten-free oats. We're going to add that to just a cute little cup. It's about yay big. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of our Greek yogurt. And of course, if you're dairy-free, you can sub this for like a coconut milk yogurt or anything similar to that. And we're just gonna go ahead and scoop that in. Next, we will add our chia seeds. Chia seeds have a lot of fiber in them, so these will help us stay full. And we're going to do a tablespoon Next, we'll be adding in 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. You could also use honey, but I prefer maple syrup. And this is pure maple syrup, not pancake syrup. Those two are two different things. Add it. And then next, we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then a 1/2 cup of whatever kind of milk you want to use. I just prefer almond milk because I'm not a huge fan of regular milk. And we're going to do a 1/2 cup add it to your mixture. Then you're going to go ahead and stir this up. I'm going to stir mine and then I'll be right back. All right, now that we're all stirred up, we're gonna go ahead and put some saran wrap on top, and then we're gonna place it in the fridge to sit overnight. All right, it's the next day and I've pulled it out of the fridge and put it in a bowl, and now I'm gonna show you guys how to put the toppings on. So first, we're gonna grab our blackberries and just put them on like this. And then our kiwi. And you don't have to use the same fruit as I do. You can use different fruit. These are just the ones that I like to use. Then we're gonna get peanut butter, and I'm using real peanut butter. Get about a tablespoon. And we're just gonna smear it like this. And then grab our chocolate chips. Some unsweetened coconut flakes. Just like a pinch. And then top, just a drizzle of agave nectar. Or honey. You can use honey as well if you would like. And that's the overnight oats and chia seed bowl. Next, we're gonna make overnight chocolate chia seed pudding. I'm gonna go ahead and need a 1/4 cup of cacao powder, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 1/2 cups of almond milk or your choice of milk, and a 1/2 cup of chia seeds. For the toppings, we're going to use a 1/2 banana, 3 to 4 strawberries, agave nectar, and unsweetened coconut flakes. So to get started, we're going to add to a small mixing bowl our cacao powder. And this is different from hot cocoa. Just want to make that very clear. And you do want to get unsweetened if possible. I'm just going to go ahead and add that. And then next we're going to add our maple syrup. That was 3 tablespoons. After that, we're going to add our cinnamon. That was a 1/2 teaspoon. And the cinnamon is optional. I know not everybody likes cinnamon, so if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. After the cinnamon, we're going to go ahead and add our salt. I just use Himalayan pink salt. And you're just gonna go like that. And then we'll add our vanilla. And vanilla is a half a teaspoon. Then we're going to go ahead and whisk this together until it's like a paste-like consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. Now that I've achieved the paste-like consistency, I'm going to go ahead and slowly add in my milk of choice. I'm using almond milk. And this is just going to create a thinner paste. What you would have before was a fairly smooth but thick paste from all the other ingredients. That's combined well. We're going to go ahead and add our chia seeds. I would add them fairly slowly just so that way there's not a whole lot of clumping. See, at this point, it will be a fairly thin consistency, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. Just try and make sure the chia seeds haven't clumped. Once you've achieved that, we're going to go ahead and cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the fridge overnight. Alrighty, it's the next day and I've pulled the overnight chia seed pudding out of the fridge and I've portioned it into a bowl, and now I'm going to show you guys how to put the toppings on. So first we're going to do the fruit. We're going to do the strawberries, and the banana, and this may seem like a lot of fruit, but remember, fruit is where the fiber's at. That's what helps keep us full. And then we're going to top with some coconut flake, and drizzle either honey or agave nectar on top. And there you go. Next, we're gonna make an oatmeal breakfast smoothie. We're gonna need 1 cup of almond milk, a half cup of rolled oats, 1 banana, 2 cups of frozen berries, a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, and agave nectar to taste. To get started for a breakfast oatmeal smoothie, we're going to go ahead and first only add our oats to the blender. And we're going to go ahead and blend those up by themselves. I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Now that we've finished blending the oats to a somewhat powder-like consistency, we're going to go ahead and add the other ingredients. So first, we'll go ahead and add in our milk of choice. And add in our banana. We're going to break it up into pieces. This will help the blender not get stuck. And then our 2 cups of frozen berries. You of course don't have to use organic if you can't afford it, that's okay. Only reason I have organic is because these were on sale and they were for some reason cheaper than the normal berries. Then we're gonna add our ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. And to sweeten, we're going to use agave nectar. This I'm going to leave up to you guys. You can add as much as you want to it. Just be mindful. Now we're going to go ahead and blend it up. I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. Now that our smoothie is blended, we're going to go ahead and pour it into our favorite cup with our smoothie straw and enjoy. Well, that's the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and follow my TikTok and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.